Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure to go check me out on Twitch. That's where most of my content is going to be. I am going to try and post a lot more over here though. But if you're here, welcome. Enjoy the video.
So, here we have Joe Neat, executive producer.
Should I say something? Hello, everyone. Yeah, great to be here. Look, we've got little name tags and everything. Yeah. And then they go, and go off the screen. It's
back a little because there's been a lot of stuff happening there. So that was back in May, and the community had to choose either whether to save Golden Sands or ruin Golden Sands. And much to the dismay of Joe, we chose to save it.
The chagrin.
It's rigged.
We did triumph, and Golden Sands was saved. So, Mike, yes. What has this meant for how the world has changed moving forward? What is the decision point? What has changed?
Are we talking about Lost Sands now?
Lost Sands.
But Lost Sands specifically. So again, that was all about, you know, Merrick being the hero, stepping in to save a beloved location. I mean, Golden Sands is, you know, I speak to a lot of our players.
Yo, I would love to get my hands on some Astro A50.
This was really a battle between
the 40 plates.
I guess the
Not that
forces
it matters
of good in
anymore because you can't change the
represented
50
by Pirate
plates.
Lord and by extension
It's
Merrick
trash.
and Bell, and then of course our ultimate bad guy, which is Captain Flameheart. But really centering that battle around this beloved location, this this pirate paradise.
He has a beard.
So it's really about this battle for this territory. Of this location. It's really thrown me off, by the way. I might just embrace it. But when we planned this out, and then we saw this kind of feedback in the community around the only way to drive meaningful change was to kind of abandon Golden Sands. And in our plans, we had these quite elaborate kind of branching paths laid out in terms of what Golden Sands would become, whether it was saved or it was ruined. And I know we're going to show a little bit later in terms of...
Oh, so they did plan two storylines. That was right.
Made to save Golden Sands and ultimately Merrick and the pirate side winning, what that now means for Golden Sands. And there's some big changes coming, and some of our players might have seen some little clues in the world. It's going to mean meaningful things for the future again.
It's going to be like a giant fortress.
We can probably see a little bit of it now, if we've got that there. But there are, yeah. So can we talk through? Oh, no. We can probably see a little bit of that now if we can get that up on screen about some of the changes that we think are going to happen there. Like, what can players expect to see over time?
That is a dope streaming room.
This kind of battle for this territory in the Sea of Thieves. I mean, we said, you know, when it first played out back in the live stream, which was what is the Pirate Lord going to do now? Now that his side has won and this attack has been foiled, what does it mean for the future of Golden Sands? And
oh, look at that! They've built more.
Players will see on the screen here. What the big change that's coming is that Golden Sands is no longer going to be an outpost. Golden Sands is going to be our first pirate port in the Sea of Thieves. We always talked about the idea of the golden age is still to come, and through these adventures and these decision points, players are going to start to see this play out in real time. With these big changes coming to the world, and this is the first time we've done this. But this is this location just fundamentally changing. This is obviously work in progress. This is a little jump ahead to what's coming later in the year. And
okay, so this isn't launched season 8.
Our
That's
team
fine.
is so passionate about
that. Looks cool.
It gives the location just such a different feel. So being here, walking around, seeing how the tavern is different, seeing how all the shops are different, it feels so different. You've never seen anything like this in Sea of Thieves before. So just so excited to see this roll out in the coming months.
Hopefully the vendors are still there.
And Joe, when it comes to like planning this stuff out, like what is the difference between, like, we went into this, right, not like as Mike was saying, there's a kind of difference between us just like having predetermined outcomes, because we're not going to build both sides of this, right? So how do we think about like scheduling that into like how we work? Like, is there we don't start work on the port prior to this, right? So how does that whole section work with
I love to think that you think I know the level of detail.
I want to hear you answer it.
Yeah, but like Mike said earlier, we have two parts very much planned out, right? And
my guess is they do like a very like skeletonized framework for both sides
up over time, like you see with the port itself, right? But we have to be sensible as well, kind of with that, right? Because going and building 2 parts completely and then kind of junking one and throwing it away, like, wouldn't be the
That's
most
a lot of
sensible thing
waste
to
of
do, but we
resources,
wanna
understandable.
absolutely make sure that players' choice is really reflected in a kind of meaningful and kind of powerful way, right? And a permanent way into the Sea of the Zod, which is what we love about these decision points. So yeah, so we always have the 2 parts kind of planned out and what could potentially happen, and then
So yeah,
you know, we have to go lean into one, but you know, based on whether the decision was right.
That's
or
okay.
the decision
I like that.
was wrong.
It's understandable. That way they don't waste resources. They
You
just
know,
kind of do
but,
like a very light framework on both
it's,
sides.
It's really cool to be able to do that, right? It's so exciting to
Makes
have
sense.
that opportunity and to listen and to not know, right? To have to plan. It's really unique. It's something we haven't done before. But yeah, it's just really exciting. I love it. I love even if I'm not always on the right side of the results. It's still amazing to see how that's kind of come together and to see, like you say,
Made
how
the
our
flame
world is
burn.
evolving in terms of that real such a distinct looking place now compared to what it was, right? And what it's going to become. So.
And then Joe, Joe to my right, Joe. What have we seen around the kind of what's been popping up in the community? Some of that community sentiment around Golden Sands and the changes that are there so far.
They noticed it instantly when it went in, and you can see the chatter bubbling up and then brewing as it spreads throughout. And they're all like, "I'm going to Golden Sands now. I'm going to go and have a little look." And the theories of what's coming, because up until this point, it's only been a little bit of wall over here and a little bit of something over here, and they're now seeing the consequences.
Other than the
of that
fact
that
that
they made,
Golden Sands is quite
and
literally
they're
the
really
most
running
meta
with it.
outpost if you want a
And
PvP
I've
on the
just seen
entire
chat
map now, which is a good
having
trade-off to be
moment
fair.
as they can see
You
what-
get like you leave that outpost with well over like 200 cannonballs.
They're
Usually.
absolutely having a nice little hype moment over it. But they love these decision points and they really grasp onto them. We saw when we announced Return of the Damned that they all wanted to choose their side right away. They were all choosing their faction right away, and they all want to show their allegiance in the game of who they're going to side with.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Return of the Damned. I think that's a kind of good segue into some of the questions we can go from here, because I think kind of setting the expectations of the type of changes and the scale of changes we expect from that, and obviously the time scale that those are on. Joe, can you tell, first of all, like we'll kind of slightly reset in that if people are joining in here, Return of the Damned is the first thing they're seeing, they've joined in for the decision points adventure, like why did we choose to do adventures? Now that we've kind of like 9 adventures in.
Adventures are cool. I like adventures.
Are they working exactly as we expected? Why did we choose to do them?
Yeah, so, you know, obviously we switched to seasons, I think, the year before, right? And we had that kind of regular release of seasons where we wanted to evolve the game, bring in new mechanics, bring in kind of new features and just new ways to play within Sea of Thieves. And we really saw opportunities within that to give people regular kind of cool things to do, basically, in the kind of interim between seasons.
Adventures
But
are
also
100%
really leaning into the growing lore,
like the reason
growing
this game
story
is
kind
not
of
becoming
within our
overly
world
stale very
and
quickly.
that world changing and evolving.
Other than the fact
And
that
so allowing
this
players to
game,
kind
you
of
literally
be a part
cannot
of that
predict
and to
what
see
happens
that kind of happen and
every
see it
time you
play
log
out,
onto
but
the game.
also then to be able to influence that at a certain point with the decisions. Like, just
It's
felt
probably
like a really
one of the
cool
most
way to
underrated
kind
games.
of just a
out
really
at the
cool
moment.
thing to layer
very
in on
good.
top of what we were already doing as part of Sea of Thieves. And you know, not obviously as we go through this, there's loads we can learn, and we're always learning. We're always looking at feedback on every adventure, whether it's how we're implementing them or what the kind of different types and styles are of gameplay and the story and everything. Right, all of those kind of things we take a lot of lessons from. And we had a big session a couple of weeks ago where we were kind of lots of post-its on a board, right, and going through all of the different perspectives. And that will kind of fold into almost like the next phase of adventures of how we go and kind of continue to iterate and grow.
Yeah, and that actually leans very good into my next question for you, Mike, which is some of those learnings, if we apply them directly to the kind of decision points, what we saw with Lost Sands versus what we're doing with Return of the Damned, I mean, they're very different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of learnings there. Can you talk us through some of the learnings, basically, from Lost Sands?
Yeah, well, I think that, as Joe was saying there, the story kind of comes first, and then we think about what's the right gameplay to suit that story. That goes for the adventures and also the decision point adventures. And I think looking at Lost Sands, looking at feedback, looking at how players engage with that, I think the
Bring
big
back
thing
those cannon
was
rowies, or
ensuring
not the
that
the
gameplay
keg
felt
rowies, man.
equal on both
That was a
sides.
great sandbox tool.
Where with Lost Sands, for some players, it might have felt a little bit kind of like asynchronous in terms of like how it was balanced, and we tried to avoid that as much as possible. But when it came to the adventure everyone's been playing, Return of the Damned, it felt like setting it around that territory control, where it's literally 2 sides and they're equal, and it's really just clear in terms of what you need to do, whether you're playing for the Reapers or whether you're playing for Bell and the Pirate Lord. That was probably the big takeaway from it, and I think that's probably a big thing that you'll see apply to future decision points.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Why do you think this decision point in terms of lore is so important?
I think, well, quickly going back to Lost Sands, I think the idea of fighting for a physical place within the world that means so much for our players, especially for players that have been with us for so long, where you know those streets are well trodden, you know, exploring that outpost, it means so much to people. So that made a lot of sense. But for the next one, I mean, we teased earlier in the year it was going to be a big decision for players to make, and I think that's because you really cut into the heart of good versus evil in the Sea of Thieves, or these different visions for the pirate's life. You know, the Pirate Lord believes in honor amongst crew, and that being how you should adventure in this world, where Flameheart just wants power. He wants to be the king of the Sea of Thieves. Flameheart is also a character that's been in our lore since that very first Tales from the Sea of Thieves lore book. So a lot of our storytelling, Flameheart's involvement in the Shores of Gold, the Heart of Fire Tall Tale, and obviously the Seabound Soul where Flameheart was released, we've been building to this for a long time. Is Flameheart going to come back in that skeletal form? Is he going to take that mantle and fight for himself, being the king of the Sea of Thieves? And I think putting this decision in the player's hand made so much sense to us, because everything in our lore has really been building to this moment. So it's pretty exciting.
So talking about that, can we go around the table here and get alignments from people? I think we've already seen some of the things here, but like, so Andy?
I'm gonna have to go for Flameheart on this, not just because the beard's in front of me. But I just think we've seen some cool adventures with Pendragon. We've obviously seen some tall tales with Pendragon as well. It's obviously a beloved character with the community, but I'm desperate to see Flameheart return in all his glory. So yeah, I think Flameheart for me.
Let's go.
Right.
Obviously, he's Pendragon.
This time, it's a little bit trickier because, like, you can imagine how these two potential decisions would play out, and we've had to plan that out. So both of them are equally fascinating and interesting. So I think I like the idea that players would fight to save Pendragon. So I'll go with that predominantly, but even if it is Flameheart, and Flameheart is the victor here, like it's going to be a thrill to see the bad guy back in his pure form.
We need an actual, like, bad guy.
It is. That's a good look.
It actually fits that guy, to be honest. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Well,
So
I think we can guess,
I'm now Team Pendragon after that, but that's only how he spoke. But yes, but I know I'm Flameheart as well, just because he has better one-liners, and he's a bit more annoying.
And he's a bit more annoying. That's so true.
Flameheart as part of the studio.
I can't wait to get yelled at by the giant skull in the sky.
Decision point, me or Joe.
If he wins, which he better.
You decide who gets dumped in the
And Joe?
Like Mike, I struggled with this one a little bit because I'm a Reaper at heart through playstyle, but Pendragon's just been with us through so much.
Let's go.
That I went for Sword and Stash.
Nice.
Oh, traitor!
Definitely Flameheart. Yeah. Just want to watch the world burn.
It's chaotic.
Yeah, if that's
Yeah.
basically.
Team Joe.
It's all right.
That's what John is.
Team Joe.
To each their own. It's a pirate game.
We've got folks from around the table here, but we did promise we were going to get Hitbo and Beardley, because part of our
Where's Hitbo? He better be Team Reaper.
that we see on our thing here is
Oh,
that,
that's so cool. Whoa.
Sorry.
Look at the
I get
ancient
distracted by
coins,
that
the
thing.
skull.
It looks so cool. I can see it on my left here. It's so
There's an
shiny.
Ashen Wind
Yeah,
skull.
Part of the
That's
campaigns
cool.
that we see across our social media are driven by our partners. And so we chose two folks from the community, two partners from the community who would embody each side. So we have Hitbo TC representing the side of Pendragon, and we have Captain Flameheart represented by behaving Beardley here as well. So I think this I've always wanted to do this type thing. I think we have them on the line here.
Going live now too.
Look at the transition.
That's nice.
Hello.
Let the flame burn.
Hey.
The production's actually very, very nice for this live stream.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're meant to be.
There we go.
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Oh boy, what is up?
We've got Hitbo all the way from the US of A, and we've got Beardley all the way from the deep south of the UK.
Deep south.
Aye.
The north, my
Are you
friend.
south? Deep
North. Oh, get clapped. Oh no.
It's the north.
Yeah,
it's the
definitely
north.
not.
Oh,
You're definitely
it's
not.
been wonderful,
It's
guys.
south of Scotland.
He's gone.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's definitely in the north.
Sorry.
Yo, Rare's throwing.
I got you mixed up with Beard again. He's in the south. Why did I say that? I know. Kept quiet.
Rare's throwing.
Pull the plug.
But I could have easily been an inside thought. And no one would have known.
Wrong beard, bro.
Oh no.
So, just forgetting that ever happened, we'll move straight on to the questions here. Hitbo, I have got one for you.
Hit me with it.
Literally, obviously. Like, why Pendragon?
I like Team Chaos, and I like Team Funny and memes. So for me, I actually thought it would be more hilarious if Team Pendragon won. It was a real simple answer for me because it would be like this scene from Indiana Jones where that sword guy comes out and then Indy just shoots the guy. Like we've had
Oh
this really
my
big
God.
build-up and then he just dies.
Oh,
I think it would be
no.
really funny. So, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
I think it'd be hilarious. That's it. So
Okay, fair play.
Love it. And the same question goes straight across to you, Beardley, or Beard again. Who has it again?
What's happening, homie? 2 balls in a dream. Yeah, look, I'll stick with Beard again. It's fine. It's weird because I've got the same argument, which is I'm Team Chaos. For me, it's not about picking a side. It's about maintaining chaos. It's about maintaining power struggles, a lack of authority, a lack of control, which is obviously the most profitable time for pirates. And we are pirates. And what is a pirate if they have nothing to fight for?
Exactly.
So I love Penny D. I actually
Just
struggled
call him
with
Penny
this-
D.
I struggled with this decision for a split second. That speech in Tall Tale 5 is one of my highlights of Sea of Thieves history. But at the end of the day, I'm sick of Pendragon sticking his shiny sword where it doesn't belong, messing things up, having to clean it up for him, only for him to make matters worse. I think it's about time we banished him to the Sea of the Damned and maybe
He
open
said,
a slot for him
"Go!"
to the Damned. Maybe Eli Slate could take his place. I don't know. But to wrap it up, the Reapers have better cosmetics. So
Facts.
It's always about the fashion.
Well, except Merchant. Merchant Chip said it's
And
gorgeous.
Beardley, how do you, like, judging by your community and what you're seeing online, how do you feel your side is doing?
well, we've won. I mean, look, honest.
That's a
look,
bold-
I think this is the thing, and this was the
It's a
thing
bold
with the Golden
statement,
Sands.
Cotton. Let's see how
From a
well it works
content
out for
creator
him.
perspective, it's always funnier and a lot more fun to go where the content is, to watch the world burn, destroy Golden Sands. We are
Facts.
basically the tip of the iceberg. The wider community were so far behind saving Golden Sands that we got blindsided. But I'm quietly confident that's not going to happen this time. Quietly confident.
Yes. And Hitbo, do you really think this is going to be a redemption for Pendragon? Like, if he gets this, if he wins here, do you think he'll get redemption? Do you think he's going to be worthy of the Sea of Thieves?
No, he's gonna mess it up again. He going. That's
Guaranteed.
Are we going to abandon Pendragon just because he messes up like 8 times in a row? I mean, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. He'll probably mess it up again. But I'm on that.
Oh,
side. For
no.
Sure we should remove his sword. Give him no ability to.
Take his sword away.
At least give the guy.
Give him the
redeem
whistle from-
himself, and then take the sword. Like
Give him the whistle from the other guys.
the bell or something. Like just make him like.
He said a bell.
Take Pendragon away and just like have him go get in the tavern somewhere in the Pirate Legend hideout.
Love it. So, while you have an open mic here, do you have anything you want to ask the folks at the table here in regards to adventures? Do you have a question? Anything that's burning?
I mean, one thing that I'd love to ask is that kind of comment that I just brought up, which just came to me now, is if Pendragon got banished, would Bell be looking for a potential new assistant? And could we? I mean, Eli Slate for me is the most underused and amazing character in Sea of Thieves. You know, this is the guy that took on Grey Marrow single-handedly. I'd love to see him come and fight the cause against Flameheart.
I thought you were putting in your own application.
Yeah.
I thought that's where you were
That's
going
what
with
it sounded like, yeah.
Is there a potential slot here for?
Yeah.
You know, the only question I would have, but go ahead and answer that one. Sorry, I didn't realize. Okay, go ahead. My bad.
That's
Hippo's interrupted.
Messing it up.
Not too
Okay,
far
sorry.
from the truth there. Yeah, so yeah, if that were to happen, Pendragon were banished. Yes, there would be. He'd be out of action for some time, and then there'd be a place to be filled. Not saying that would be Eli Slate. It could be, but yes, Bell would need new allies for sure.
Would the tale be called A Clean Slate?
Clean. Oh, they literally just like.
He shaves as part.
Man.
It's got a literal and metaphorical. It's good.
And Hippo?
Man, my only question is probably a bigger question to ask, but the adventures for me, like watching the beginning of the stream and just seeing all of the cinematics and then remembering all of the stories that we all went through, I would just love to be able to like replay those at one point. I know this is a crazy question. You don't have to answer. You can just say, Hippo, you son of a gun, stop it. But I'm asking it. It'd be great to be able to like go back and play adventures, maybe turn them into a tall tale or whatever. But I know for me, that'd be super fun.
No, that's a great question. That's one we've discussed on the team quite a lot. I think like the last 9 adventures have really been about, obviously we want to tell that evolving, unfolding story every month, but how we've told that story and the type of gameplay scenarios we've highlighted have deliberately been very different across those 9 adventures. Sometimes they feel very much like a tall tale. You know, for say Hunter, Herald of the Flame, there's definitely ones that feel closer to a tall tale, but there's also adventures that feel more about showcasing some great sandbox gameplay, probably most recently with the territory control of Adventure 9. That's us deliberately trying to strike the right balance in terms of what an adventure can be. Like that unfolding narrative is
I would
something that we
like for
believe in.
them to
But,
start
like, how we
introducing new
couple
sandbox
that,
items
in
with,
terms
like,
of
not
going
necessarily
forward
each
is something
adventure, because that would be a
we're
lot
kind
of
of looking at
resources
and
they'd have to
reviewing.
test out and
I would
balance
say
and that sort of
never
thing.
say never.
But, like, once every
but I'm
couple
saying that
adventures,
knowing
that would be very
what plans
interesting.
we've got
Because
for the
those keg
future, where
growies
the
are
story's
very
gonna
much
go
missed.
next. So I think we hear the feedback. We've discussed it internally. No calls yet. There's definitely been some major moments, like you say, that feel like an important part of Sea of Thieves history. So yeah, never say never. Maybe that could happen.
Yeah, cool. Specifically that Shrouded Deep one. Holy cow. Seeing that play again, it's like... Also,
I think
sorry,
that's a great example of just a cool set piece, right? Like bringing players together and having that set piece of the ship, like battling this awesome sea creature. I think that could come back in several ways as part of a new story with an interesting twist on it as well.
Sweet. No, thank you so much for joining us, guys. And we'll end the torment for both of you. There, you just gonna disappear. But yeah, no, thank you for joining us, and we will end the torment for you here, both like you, the audience, everyone sitting around.
It better be Flameheart.
I'm Pendragon and Flameheart.
I'm a knife hand somebody if it ain't.
I thought that was... I get it now.
So obviously we're gonna reveal who got banished here, but
Oh, come on, then.
afterwards we do want you to stick around, because afterwards we're going to be talking.
I'll stick
through
around.
some
I'm a
of
fan.
the,
I love the
data
game.
from what you've been doing, like some of the kind of cool things you've been doing within the game, and show that. But also we're going to be talking about season 8 and all the cool new content coming with season 8 and Tuesday next week. So this is the moment you've all been waiting for.
It better be Flameheart.
Find out who has been banished to the Sea of the Damned for all eternity.
Flameheart better win.
Let's just commit to that. I'm going to commit.
No one's ever already gone.
So it's like, can Pendragon finally redeem himself, or will we see the
Nope.
end of Captain Flameheart?
Is there a
So-
countdown?
Will we see Flameheart walk the shores of the Sea of Thieves again? Will we see that happen?
That would be
All
lit.
your hard work
This is intense.
has been leading up to this point. That's it. But one side
Chat, I love it.
has worked harder than
Oh,
all
come
the
on
others.
then.
How many all caps comments you getting?
They're all raging at John
I bet they are.
specifically.
Your decision will affect
He's prolonging it on purpose.
the future of
Reel him in.
the sea.
You son of a gun.
Roll the video.
That is such a cool set piece. Like 100% GG's for that. That is a great looking set piece. This is such a tease. Oh, now, okay. Ah? Yes! Let's go!
Nothing, fool. The sea of
Let's go!
shall quake at my
Let the flame burn! Oh, I haven't heard that laugh in a while. Yes!
So there we have it. Flameheart has won. Pendragon has now been banished to the Sea of the Damned for all eternity. Farewell, Pendragon. What's your
Deuces!
What's everyone's thoughts?
See you never!
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Mike? How are you
I think
taking
like
it?
I'm not sad. I'm excited. I think Pendragon, one of my favourite.
Excited! I'm hyped!
Agree with Behaving Beardly there in terms of like the impact of that character and all those emotional moments. But I think Sea of Thieves getting back Captain Flameheart in his true form is a pretty exciting prospect. So I'm happy with that.
Andy?
Very exciting. Love that video as well. The anticipation on that. The build for that.
There was so much.
Quietly relieved, and yeah, excited for the future.
And Joe?
I was impressed with your level of trolling. And straight into that. And then again, that was like...
I did forget it was 40 seconds. Maybe we should put my minute that as I was saying it. But...
as a fan of trolling, like, but yes, no, obviously I'm moderately pleased by the outcome. But no, I think it's great. Obviously, the community have spoken, and you know, and it's good that they've realised the error of their ways from the last.
So before
Oh, no.
Sorry, Joe, I forgot about you. Getting your reaction here because you're sitting right next to me.
Just forgot about me.
So
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited, to be honest. I'm really excited to see where this will now go. Disappointed, yes, but we saved Golden Sands. That was, you know,
Can't win them all.
one for that team. To be honest, I was on the other side for that. So I'm just on the losing streak.
That's it, you're 2
I
for
just
2.
thought I'd recover it, but I'm 2 for 2 on the losing side right now. So, but it's exciting things to see what the future will hold now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we have some of the data from how you played Return of the Damned here.
Some numbers.
So we're going to chat through that. We've got this lovely, nice animation here to the side of me. So as we chat through it, I'm going to see if folks are shocked at some of these numbers.
Let's have a look.
So that's how it is. So basically, we had the bewitching dolls that were out there. I mean, how many bewitching dolls handed in? 438,488 bewitching dolls. That's a lot of bewitching dolls.
That is a lot of C4 traded.
Dolls handed in with full fort control, 17,698. These are huge numbers. Enchanted bewitching dolls, 271,065.
That's very high.
Yeah, and then it gets even bigger. So we've got total dolls given to factions, 709,533.
It's a lot.
Then the flags, I saw loads of these getting raised. So with the flags raised at 284,913 flags.
Wow.
We love numbers here. Soulflame, I feel like a bingo caller. Soulflame captains killed 387,949 Soulflame captains killed. The most vulnerable fortress? Any guesses?
Mercy's Edge.
Mercy's Edge. Mercy's Edge. I came up before I got it. And then most
Probably
resilient
because there is a
fortress?
friggin' book there.
Yes, old Brimstone. Yeah.
Fortress.
Old Brimstone, most resilient?
So, yeah.
Those numbers are higher than I expected. That's good. That's very good.
Community came out in numbers, it seems.
They did. They really did.
Wow.
There's a lot of bewitching dolls. Very cool.
It was so cool to see when I looked at the numbers on the dashboard behind it. It was like the numbers of points in either direction were in the billions. So it was absolutely crazy to see some of those numbers in the background there. So we've got the stats there, but we haven't heard from our partners. So we're going to jump over to Hitbo and Beardly here before we take this short break. So we're going to get
short break,
Beardly, but we are going to jump straight over after we hear from them to the season 8 stuff. So please stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break in between, but please stay tuned because we have got lots more to talk about with season 8. But for now,
oh,
I think
wrong
we're gonna
screen.
do a lovely little pan over to the portraits again.
Oh. Oh, dude, look at that. That's like a whole production section. That's dope.
Let the flame burn!
Let's go, Beardly.
There they are.
Yes. I'm so excited for this. Like this, for me, this is just like. I'm sorry, Hitbo. I mean, Hitbo didn't even care. He just wanted carnage.
I just thought it would be funny to say that I wasn't surprised, though. I'll be honest with you. I sailed the seas the last 2 weeks. I saw a lot of red lightsabers in the sky. I knew it was coming.
Red lightsabers.
Doesn't change it, though. I'm a pirate for life, baby. Team Athena, Flameheart, you suck.
Damn.
This is coming from Hitbo, who doesn't realise there's more than just Athena chests in this game, but we'll brush past that.
Ooh!
I think we calculated I've stolen over 3,000 by this point. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow. All right, boys. All right, boys. Seen your portraits. I love it. Honestly, so what are your kind of final thoughts on this? And I know you're going to send us out here.
I'm just excited for the opportunity to see what's going to happen, having an actual physical fight against Flameheart. I mean, I'm fingers crossed that we get like a sword fight, like an actual sword fight against Flameheart.
A sword fight.
Sword combat is quintessential to a pirate experience. Yep, there you go, sword lords for life. But no, I would love to have I'm just excited to fight Flameheart. I'm just excited to see what happens on a lore perspective. And and is the warrior ancient going to come into this as well? And what's going to happen there with that? I'm super excited to see all these clash. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think this will be great. I think fighting Flameheart again will be great. I think over the years we've had a really.
They hear that for the next
this
like
moment. I still
2
think it'd be
years.
kind of hilarious if he just got banished right out of. Like before he even got a chance, he's just gone. All right, Flameheart, see ya. But I'm excited. Overall, Sea of Thieves has an incredible lore and a deep story to it.
Yes.
So I think for that, I've always been a fan of that, and I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. So it was a win-win either way. Funnier one way, but it's fine. This is fine. You win some, you learn some. You know what I mean?
On top of that, and the excitement of this, though, I'm more excited to see what's coming up now with the season 8 trailer and what's coming up next.
I would very much also like
That
to
was me
see.
trying to pass over to Hitbo. Hitbo, take my.
Listen, I'll be honest, I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond. I'm very excited for season 8. Okay, season 8 is gonna be amazing. I cannot.
He's speechless.
Wait. I just hit us with that trailer. I'm gonna shut up and just smack us with it. We want it. Everyone
Right,
wants
stay
it.
tuned.
Smacks.
Season 8 reveal coming up next.
Masterfully done.
Beautifully done.
Masterfully done.
Cut, bro, cut.
Cut.
Cut the video.
Cut the music. So there is a short break. How long is the short break? Let's go. Whoa.
I am reborn.
Oh.
Forfeit my name and burn.
Season 8. 5 minutes. Holy crap, just in time. What a perfect timing on the chicken sandwich reheat. Oh, yeah.
Choose your side and get ready to fight. It's time
Whoa,
to put your
look at those
skills to
ship
the
sets.
test in the battle for the Sea of Thieves. Explore
Whoa.
new locations and earn some incredible cosmetics.
Oh, dude, look at that
Load the
skeleton. That's
cannons and
dope.
Sharpen your cutlass
Dude, the
as
friggin-
we explore the depths of Sea of Thieves, Season 8.
Oh.
In Season 8, you'll be able to opt into on-demand PvP combat, duking it out in explosive ship battles that all take place in the shared world of adventure. You'll be fighting for one of two opposing factions, the Guardians of Fortune, who are loyal to the Pirate Lord and his allies,
Okay.
and the Servants of the Flame, who pledge themselves to Flameheart and the Reaper's Bones. Crews who
Whoa.
join either faction can choose to represent them while either going about their normal pirate business, or actively hunting and sinking ships of the opposing faction. And this all begins with the Hourglass of Fate. Found on the captain's table of each ship, you and your crew can use it to choose which faction you wish to fight for.
Oh, that's
Be
cool.
warned, by voting to represent a faction, a crew is effectively marking themselves as ready and willing to engage in PvP combat. This means that you can be actively hunted by ships of the opposing faction. But if you want to go on the offensive and hunt opposing faction ships yourself, then look no further than the war map on the captain's table.
Whoa.
Use it to seek out a foe, and then dive below the waves.
What?
As you glide through the murky waters far below, you'll scour the seas for a worthy match.
That's
You can use this time
really
to
cool.
ensure you and your ship are ready for the battle ahead. And once an opponent has been found, you'll ascend from the depths and burst out from below the waves.
that is badass.
The opposing faction ship will be directly ahead of you. So ready the guns, and let battle commence. Both you and your foe will be placed within a designated battle area, which is visible on your ship's map. If you stray out of bounds, the Hourglass of Fate will start to become unstable and you'll see a warning urging you to return to the fight. If you continue to leave the area, your hourglass
Yo,
will
you
be
can't
destroyed,
run away?
sinking your
Oh, suck it.
and your opponent will be declared victorious. Winning battles by sinking opposing faction ships will reward you in several ways. Each successful battle will make your hourglass of fate more valuable.
You
So the
can't
more
run
ships you
away.
win, the
Oh,
more gold you
no.
receive when you vote to leave the battle at an outpost.
That's hilarious.
You'll also earn allegiance. This represents the deeds you've done on behalf of either faction.
That's incredible.
similar to the experience
W
you earn
change.
for the trading company.
Now, the real question is, will this
If
also
you're able
be
to sink
in
multiple
Adventure?
foes in a row without being sunk yourself, you will start to build up an allegiance streak. As the streak gets larger, so too does the
That's
allegiance
a,
share
what
your
is it?
victories.
It's not
Reaching an
glorious.
allegiance streak of 4 will mark you as a
not
faction
triumphant.
champion. And
No,
your
that is-
position will
that's
be
TSD,
displayed
I
on the
think.
map table for all to see. Defeating a faction champion earns you slightly more allegiance and a lot more hourglass value than would normally be awarded. So you can expect to find courageous crews heading your way to try their hand at sending you to the ferry. Faction champions can also choose to hunt crews larger than their own. So if you're an ambitious solo slipper ready to prove yourself, this is the perfect way to test your mettle against some more fearsome foes.
Oh,
Well,
see,
sinking
now you
ships
really
isn't
gotta
the
be
only way to earn
be on the
allegiance.
lookout.
When you bring treasure aboard a faction ship, you'll gradually increase your treasure grade. The more valuable the item you bring aboard is, the more your treasure grade will increase. And if you can successfully defend against and defeat rival faction ships while this treasure is on board, you'll earn even more allegiance for each ship sunk.
Interesting.
When you leave the battle by voting at an outpost, your current treasure grade will increase the amount of allegiance you receive. You can even choose to sail as an emissary while also representing your faction, potentially netting even greater rewards. The higher your emissary grade, the more your hourglass of fate will be worth when you choose to leave your faction. However, choosing this style of play will make you an even more valuable target for ships from the opposing faction. So best be on your guard.
They're tucking at an outpost.
Season 8, we're also adding 2 new alignments for the captains of the Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
Complete the milestones to unlock new trinkets, crests, and other faction-themed cosmetics.
That's
And
cool.
as you build up allegiance with one or both factions, you'll unlock some spectacular rewards for both sides.
Dude, that
At
figurehead
Allegiance
is
level 100,
incredible.
You'll also gain access to special faction-only parts of the Athena's Fortune Tavern or the Reaper's Lair. So long as you're also a
That's
pirate
cool.
legend or level 75 Reaper, that is.
Or 75
These
Reaper?
areas offer a number of
Dang,
exclusive
dude.
rewards, some of which are literally life-changing. The Guardians of Fortune will grant you the blessing of Athena's fortune. Allowing you to take on the look of the various apparitions found within the Sea of Thieves. And if you travel into the Reaper's Lair, far below the Reaper's hideout, you can take part in a ritual to transform your soft, fleshy body into something altogether less alive.
Oh.
And prove once and for all that you were indeed big-boned. Explore the Reaper's Lair further, and you'll find new characters to interact with, including the Bonesmith, who'll allow you to customize your new style with the various bits and bobs befitting a
What?
skeletal crew. And of course, with a new season comes new rewards, with over 100 levels of incredible items to unlock. That includes some slick new clothing options. There's
Dude,
even
that's
new
sick.
emissary rewards. So there's boatloads of shiny new goodies to strive for. And
Nice.
there's also a new plunder pass, available as an optional purchase, where you can unlock some macabre cosmetics crafted on a midnight dreary. With the Ravenwood ship set, and costume.
That's cool.
Not only that, but
He's
by
a bit.
completing this season's Plunder Pass, you'll earn 1,000 ancient coins. And there's
1,000?
even more
Oh, I think that's
available
normal,
in the
right?
Pirate Emporium. From a ship fit for a king to a costume perfect for those who are hungry.
Yo,
for
where
battle.
was that? Was that red jacket previously
There's even
available?
trinkets to celebrate the games of Rare's past. So pop on in and discover what sparkling surprises lie in store. So get ready to earn allegiance for factions of fate, uncover new rewards in never-before-seen locations, and engage in the dramatic PvP action of Sea of Thieves Season 8.
This looks good so far.
So there we have it, folks. Season 8 and all of it PvP glory. That was my best John McMurtry impression.
It's pretty good.
So I hope you enjoyed what we just saw. And handily, I have the people who made it sitting right across the table from me here. And we're going to ask them some questions to get a little deeper dive into Season 8. I don't know what. That was not John McMurtry.
That's very nice.
I thought you were John McMurtry.
That's what he talks like when he's not got his voice on. So, Mike, let's start off with it.
Yeah.
Give us a high level what is and why is Season 8 Season 8?
It's a good question. Honestly, so exciting to finally
So cool,
have
right?
players see that. I mean, we've been excited about this for so long. But obviously, Sea of Thieves is a huge game. There's so many different types of play styles. And, you know, we've been building out the world, making it richer, giving players new things to do. PvP and a focus on PvP has always been something in our minds. But we wanted to do it in adventure. We wanted to bring it to adventure in that seamless, immersive Sea of Thieves way. And there's a lot of responsibility with that. It had to be sanctioned PvP, where both sides opt in and want that experience. So we wanted to add this new way to play without adversely affecting the rest of the sandbox. But for us, the most important thing was wrapping it in that kind of immersive, playful feel that's key to Sea of Thieves when you're out there on your adventures. So all of that seamlessly transitioning as players saw there, going under the waves, but then wrapping it in that factional role play. So bringing in the Skeleton Curse, bringing in the Ghost Curse. Some of that thinking, you know, we kind of laid the kind of track for that early on with the kind of
So Skeleton and Ghost Curse.
But this is really celebrating the good and the evil of the world, the Reapers.
So I wonder where that red, that looked like a red TSD jacket. Was that previously available? I've never seen that before.
Sweet. And
So I wonder if
Andy,
that's a
I know
new
you are
item.
Super excited about this someday. I know this
Because
is
if
like-
that's a new
it's
item,
real
I will wear
passion
that.
project for you and the team,
100%.
right?
Yeah, the team's worked incredibly hard on it, and like Mike said, it was a really important update for us, and especially to try and make sure it doesn't affect what people know and love about Sea of Thieves at the minute. Like, we didn't want players to kind of jump into Season 8 and everything's kind of changed and all of that's affected. We wanted players to be able to play the game as they've always loved, but also have this new opportunity to opt in and do PvP on demand against other crews. So, yeah, huge
That's cool.
push from the team.
I'd much rather play the game
also worked
organically,
very
personally,
closely with our,
but it's a good
partner
option.
program and our insiders as well on this. Got them in very early after we kind of done the initial conception for the kind of design vision for Season 8, and then they've been a huge help for us to try and figure out the best version of the implementation. So we've had a lot of feedback from them that we've factored into this to this update to try and make it as good for players as possible.
It must have been really difficult to balance all that, right? Like, it's like
It was, and there's a lot of like hidden challenges as well. But like, we've done a bunch of different stuff here. Like specific, I don't know if you want to go into the details of this yet, or you want to, like, so like some of the early feedback that we got from our from our partners was around, you know, obviously if you're partaking in PvP, it's high octane, you know, there's streaks as that players are kind of earning as they do back-to-back ship fights. So it's going to be a very kind of intense experience, and we were very keen to make sure that after that experience had finished, we have a clear winner and a clear loser, and the losing crew actually gets migrated away from that sandbox session. So the winners get.
Oh,
to
really? So
stay
if
in
you
that
lose, you
sandbox
just get.
and they, get to enjoy the rewards, get to repair their ship, get to go and restock for more resources before they dive into another fight or do any kind of traditional world event. And the losing team sees their ship sinking, and they migrate away onto a different server, so that we can kind of ensure that
That's a
they
good
can have
change.
this battle, say GG, and then ultimately move away and kind of be unaffected from.
Oh, it's not necessarily a good change. It's just a good addition.
Andy?
Well, we pitched it as the loser tunnel. But I did promise myself I'd never say that. But I mean, if Sea of Thieves was going to have a game over screen, that's it. Like, when you play in the arcade, you lose, and then you get the little game over screen, and then you move away. Yeah. You'll basically move into a new server. You'll spawn on an island facing your ship, and then you can reboard your ship. The Hourglass of Fate is just there waiting for you on the ship, so you can get straight back into a faction, dive immediately, and go back for more chaos.
But I like the way that
Schnauzer is very animated this morning.
Kind of that fight is over, and now we're going to separate you and kind of send you to kind of apart from each other. I think it's really good.
We were considering not doing that, but then the winner's position, they're kind of frail after they've won. They've expended all those resources. Their ship's going to be in a bad state. Their position is known in the world, and if that crew is to just respawn in that world, they know exactly where they are. They can come straight back for them. And it didn't really feel like you'd won the fight. It just felt like you get into this kind of attrition. So that was a really important thing. That was something that came from discussing earlier with the partners. The battle bounds was something that came from our insider program. Again, we didn't have them planned. And we saw, crews running away and trying to, flee from combat. And that's where the battle bounds come from, so that we kind of have this kill or be killed state for the two.
Can't be any more fleepers.
One team wins and the other one loses.
This is like a bonus question while I'm thinking of here, but was there a particular feature or thing that you were developing that you were like, I really kind of don't know how we're going to solve this, and then you went, I had that kind of realization moment. You were like, oh, this is cool. This is how it works. Like,
I think like the surfacing was something that was kind of like this idea, and it was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if you dive like the skeleton ships? And that's how you got into combat. And then we were talking about having this underwater tunnel. So whilst you're matchmaking and trying to find this crew, and we do all skill-based matchmaking inside that underwater tunnel as well, to try and get you an opponent of the same ship size on an opposite faction that's around the same kind of skill rating as you.
Skill-based matchmaking.
But that emerge moment was an early idea, and it took a lot of effort to try and bring that to reality. Chloe did some incredible music. Guillaume did some incredible sound effects. When that boat starts pitching up, all the music starts building and building and building before you collapse out of the water, and then you hear the boat like crunching as it kind of smacks the waves as it comes back down. Your opponent's straight in front of you. And that's just a fight to the death.
The music's different for each faction as well, isn't it?
It's so intense.
Skill-based matchmaking.
The way that builds.
Combat is supposed to be completely random.
Reach the water. It's just amazing.
See, I don't know about that. That's
the thing that
that was this whole thing is cool, and that just ruined everything.
It's that great.
Unless you
way
misspoke.
to play, great cool gameplay. Get into the gameplay
gosh,
that you want.
dog.
If you want to get into these exciting PvP battles, you can do that. But it's got all of that storytelling and all that immersion, like diving, being on your ship under the water, catching sight of the Kraken, seeing megalodons swimming past. It makes the world feel so rich. And I think from a gameplay perspective as well, that the moment I realised this was going to be so special was playing it. And this is not something you typically feel in Sea of Thieves, but that feeling of one more go. This is such a great short session experience where you can come straight into the game. Everybody's got access to the hourglass right from when they start the game. They've got the war map. You can run down the bounty, board your ship, dive below the waves, and then you're going to get into a ship battle. It could play anywhere from 5 to maybe 15 minutes on average. But then, do you stay in the world? Do you go take on that skeleton fort, or go do something else, or do you just dive again straight away? So that feeling of just one more go, like getting into that track and building up your streak, it feels so good to play, but it's not at the expense of that immersive sandbox. Like if you don't want PvP, it's not going to affect you. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this ripples throughout the sandbox. And for people who want PvP, they've now got this great outlet. I'm sure we'll still see emergent PvP battles, and we're kind of catering for that. I'm sure we can talk about that with the championships and all that great gameplay. But it just connects you to the gameplay you want when you want it.
And talking about we have the kind of gameplay, and we've talked about the mechanics, but we always love to wrap our stuff in lore, and there's some heavy, amazing lore-based stuff in this update, right? So Mike and Andy, will pass between you. Like, what? Start.
I'll just start with. I mean, it's no kind of accident in terms of what adventure's just gone live and what the kind of the story and the wrapping is for season 8. We knew that we were going to bring this battle in between the Reapers and between the Pirate Lord. So this decision point that we've just seen play out with the adventure is absolutely key to this. You've now got this idea of belonging to a faction and picking a side. So one way to look at it is this is a battle between skeletons of the Reaper's Bones and the ghosts of Athena's Fortune, and just that playful role play. So when that ship bursts out of the water and it's that crew of skeletons and they've customized themselves, they've changed their head, they've changed their body, they've changed their lower body, it just makes it feel like that. It gives it that adventure role play that we always try and wrap it into Sea of Thieves. It's not just a game mode, it's something that feels like it's got its hooks into everything about the game.
We've gone like really deep on the kind of new environments that we've built as well as part of that lore building. We kind of have these faction hideouts now, expansion to the Athena's Fortune hideout that already exists. There's like this new entrance that you can kind of get access to once you've got enough allegiance with the Pirate Lord and the Guardians of Fortune, and that's this big expansion with these kind of beautiful cutscenes where you get to meet our most beloved characters face to face, to receive those new curses. And then we've also kind of expanded the Reaper's Lair, the Reaper's Hideout, by adding the Reaper's Lair underneath it, so players will be able to have that kind of pirate legend moment, all fresh again. Get to go deep into the belly of this new island and get to explore its kind of many vestiges of power. It's very, very exciting. And there's a bunch of new characters down there as well, right?
There is. I mean, I don't want to spoil it too much in terms of there was a little glimpse that we got of the scenes that when you receive these curse or this blessing, but as part of that faction. But I think they're some of the best kind of narrative moments that we've ever added. It's such a payoff to shake hands with a Pirate Lord or to receive that skeleton curse. And like the environments that Andy's talking about, the new expansion to the Athena's Fortune hideout and the Reaper's Lair, it's, in my opinion, it's some of the best environment we've ever done. The team have knocked that absolutely out of the park. 100%. And there's a responsibility of that. I think that when we first put in the Reaper's hideout and we had that hatch there, I think our players have often speculated, what is below the Reaper's hideout? And we really wanted to pay that off in style. So it's like seeing this hidden world that you haven't seen before, and all these new wonderful characters like the Chronicler and the Bonesmith, just how characterful the Bonesmith is, right? And
Yeah,
how he gives you all these new cosmetics.
It's so cool. Like,
it's huge.
What, the Bonesmith or the environment? Yeah, no, it is. The environment is huge, and like, again, a bunch of that was shown on the trailer, and like when players get to pledge their allegiance to Flameheart and the Servants of the Flame, they'll get to explore it for themselves. But yeah, the Bonesmith's a new character that will be part of the Reaper's Lair, and that character will unlock all of the kind of customization for the Skeleton Curse. So we really wanted to kind of push the Skeleton Curse and not only offer a new curse, but offer ways for players to kind of customize their appearance when that curse is equipped. So when you unlock the Skeleton Curse and you flesh burns off your skin and you become part of that faction for real, you can unlock new heads for your skeleton appearance, new torsos, new lower bodies. You can even change like the bone color of your appearance as well. So there's a bunch of new kind of customization and permutations of how these crews are going to look together on the seas. It's very, very cool.
You can tell we're very proud.
Yeah.
This update has got a bit of everything. I think doing PvP justice in adventure was something that we wanted to do. We wanted to do it in style. I think it's got some great environment work, some of the best rewards we've ever done. Our players have often asked for that Skeleton Curse, but doing it as part of these factions with all that role play as part of this great new kind of core way to play felt like the right thing to do. And the buzz in the studio for this, we're all so excited and can't wait to see what people think later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe, I know we've kind of touched on this, but what do you think it means for the sandbox in general?
Yeah, so just before I hit that, I just wanted to say as well, I wanted to kind of chip in on kind of what the folks were saying here, of the the amount of work that has gone into this across so many different parts of the team, the complexity involved in this, right? In building this kind of this matchmaking to new servers, and with the skill-based stuff as well, like all of the complexity that's gone into this.
He just said skill-based again.
The audio, the gameplay, like it has been an immense undertaking. And
dude, that's
like
not good.
Project, but I think like kudos to everyone involved at Rare, you know, that has managed to kind
that's
of
like a guarantee I ain't gonna play it.
I think
at least done extensively
an amazing job, right? And I think it's going to blow people away when it comes out. And thanks to the partners and the insiders and everyone that helped us kind of craft this too, because it's just something that I think everyone should be incredibly proud of. So I just wanted to just say that, because I think it really matters. I think it's just it's been so much love and energy poured into this. So what was the question?
Skill based is gonna ruin that whole system, man. I hope they revert that.
Something about how does it change the sandbox?
How
does it ripple out, as Mike said? Yeah. So, well, I think that's the fascinating thing, right? Because yes, for people that are opting into this,
I hope it's ship based and not skill based, and they're just
you want some PvP, right? You want this kind of action. But
ship based, I can understand. Like galleons only fight brigs and galleons.
See it going on, right? You can get your little crowd, you can get your little audience kind of watching on, or even people can sail in and kind of engage with this, right? Like, because it's in the shared world. And so I just think the fact that we've brought this experience and it's into Sea of Thieves, it's into
makes
what
sense.
already exists as a handbox, means there's
in that
still gonna be loads of
aspect.
that
But if it's going to
unexpected
be
kind of
actual
nature and
skill-based
things that
matchmaking, where
as
it
part of
takes
this,
the
so there's still
average of
gonna
all
be
4
interesting
players,
stories, really
that is
interesting
going to
moments that happen
100%
as
ruin
well,
that
which is just,
experience.
again,
And I guarantee
just what
most of the
special
PvP
and
players
testament what
are
Sea of
not going to
Thieves
play
is
that.
and how smoothly this has been integrated into it. And I just
Skill based, especially if you're going into PvP like that, no skill, no way. No skill based
of wins in a row, right? Who's gonna have the world
ship based?
record?
Sure. Skill based,
and how's that going to go backwards and forwards? But then, what other stories are we going to see as part of this coming in? Right? Like I just think it's
one of the worst inventions they've ever made in gaming.
Masterfully integrated as always into what Sea of Thieves is. So
I'm interested to
if
see.
you just say so yourself.
Yeah.
I was praising you guys.
No, but honestly, I'll join in. I think like Andy's been a fantastic champion for this update. I know you believed in this, right? You've been so passionate about all of this, but you know, across the team, there's so many people to name. I mean, like Andy Finch's team, the environment team, the audio team, Guillaume, Case, everyone's put so much love into
services
this.
and matchmaking.
Exactly, and like
everybody.
you feel the buzz on the team, right?
Yeah.
You know, I saw like Glenn tweeting today.
Did he just
so
say that
passionate
again?
about all this work that's been done, because I think it's because it has got a bit of everything in it. It's pulled everything across the team. It's that new way to play which pulls in services, it brings in new architecture, but then all the rapping, all the environment art, all the music. Like this update has, to me, has kind of like refreshed the idea. This team is at the top of its game, and like I think we should be so proud of everyone that's worked on this update. So can't wait to see it go live in 2 weeks, I think.
Absolutely. When you said that about emergent moments, I'm just waiting for the first person who is tucked on a ship that they don't know has opted in.
But that's it, right? That is it. Like, that's it. It's just like
that would be really funny.
You can't even imagine happening, right? Yeah. So it's just going to be great. So.
And just to finish before we go over to our lovely portraits again and see Hippo and Beardley, Andrew, you know this subject better than anyone. What are some of the highlights that you've seen the content update video a few times? What are some of the highlights for you that maybe just didn't pop up there that you're like, oh, this is a cool little thing that you might have missed or someone might miss?
I think there's a lot to take in on that trailer. It's like 8 minutes long, a ton of stuff in there, but I think it only really scratches the surface of how it's going to play out in the sandbox for me. Like, obviously we spoke about PvP on demand. Players that want to have combat immediately can now just jump on their ship, vote to dive, bang, they're straight into a fight, like immediately. That's that short session experience that we've wanted for so long in Sea of Thieves. I'm sure we'll continue to build on that in the future. Like, for me, like personally as a player and how I kind of see myself playing this is that longer term game of how this can become part of your everyday sessions in the Sea of Thieves sandbox. Like, you don't have to just actively go out attacking. You can defend as well. You can, vote to join the Pirate Lord, the Guardians of Fortune, and then you can just play the game as you've always played, knowing that eventually a Reaper's going to come hunting for you, and that's going to change your experience. And, the stuff that Joe and Mike have been talking about the intricacy of the design of this specific season, we've tried to ensure that everything kind of adds to that. So if you're playing as a captain, you can join a faction. There are new milestones, there are new alignments for you to go and unlock new trinkets, new rewards as a captain that are all based on the kind of PvP milestones we're showcasing in Season 8. You can play as an emissary as well, and you get emissary grade for sinking ships of a rival faction. That's a quick way for them to progress their emissary, and then the emissary rewards modify the hourglass value as well. But then, like, if you're just doing world events and stacking treasure on your ship, like players play Sea of Thieves, when you get invaded by another opponent and you defend your ship with honor and you fight that ship and defeat it, you'll actually earn more allegiance for your faction based on the amount of treasure that you had on your ship. And I just love how that could play out. Like, you could be, you know, playing aggressively, you go and attack, you dive, you know, I face off with you, you got a ton of treasure on your ship. Let's say
you lose.
Probably wouldn't happen. Let's say I take you out. All of that, all of that treasure's there in the ocean. I can then take that treasure aboard my ship. My treasure grade will go up, and then I've got a decision then to make. Do I want to dive, and like, you know, potentially lose that bonus, or do I want to switch and play more passively, where I continue finding more treasure, putting it aboard my ship, and wait for my next opponent to burst out of the ocean? Because if they do and I sink them, I'm going to get loads of allegiance for that. So I just love that interplay of how you can switch between attack and defense. I could talk forever. I'm sorry. I could talk forever about this. I've been waiting to talk about this.
It's amazing. So
I'm excited
we are gonna cut
for
over
everything
to,
so far except the
creators here.
SBMM.
I think we try and get like Hippo and Beardley.
I hope they
back.
expand
In the
upon
meantime,
that.
remember, if
Just
you're using the
like,
hashtag Season 8,
how strict is the skill base going to
hashtag
be?
on
Is it going to be
any of our
ship
social
based?
media
Is it going to
channels, Joe
be
is going through and the moderator
hours?
So many
played?
questions
You
right
know,
now.
so many factors go into skill base like that.
Well,
That could be a
huge,
huge down,
There's those
like
portraits.
a step in the
hear
wrong
those lovely
direction.
voices again. There they
That
are.
I will absolutely not take part in.
So Beardley, what did you think?
Yes, darling. I have goosebumps. My goosebumps have goosebumps. My beard has goosebumps. No, honestly, I think this is gonna. I'm not just trying to like blow smoke. This is gonna be one of those moments, one of those pivot. Well, it's gonna be the pivotal moment of Sea of Thieves. We're gonna look back on this and see it as the greatest update in Sea of Thieves history. I am literally shook. I am not joking.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's
Holy
amazing.
sweet
It's a
mother
good
of the
update.
whale. This is the update we've wanted forever. We did it. You guys did it. This looks amazing. It looks absolutely just incredible. Going beneath the waves and popping out. Hey, Reapers, you can't run anymore. That's all I'm going to say. There's bounds, okay? There's a bound. Your ship will blow up. I'm actually excited as a native tucker. I'm interested to see if I could tuck on a ship that had treasure on the defense, and that like an enemy. Say I'm, Team Athena, Rock, yeah, Athena. I'm tucking on a boat that's a servant of flame, getting treasure to defend, and then they get into a battle. I'm pretty sure logically, I think I could just screw them over. I think in that moment I could screw them over. Like, yeah, baby. Yeah, you didn't see this Tucker coming out. Boom, and I trust legends. It's a win.
I love it. And yourself, what kind of content are you thinking about, like, when you're thinking about this update?
Well, I'm already planning. I'm thinking. I love my challenges. I want to do like forget 4 sinks. I want to go 100 sinks without being sunk. This game is all about flexing. It's all about flexing cosmetics. It's all about flexing titles. I want that mark on the map. I want people, coming for us and sinking ship after ship. And what I love about this as well is it's not one of these updates where you're gonna smash through, the achievements and then be done with it. Because I think the biggest kind of struggle I have with Sea of Thieves is if you're in for a long session, you've got all these supplies, you get sunk, and you just can't be bothered restocking up your ship and getting back into it. But now, even if you've got all of it done, you're like, you know what, I'm going to jump into the combat with another ship and just kind of keep the game going, if that makes sense. And it's like Mike said, it's that, just one more and a quick session, so you're not having to tie things off and leave it.
Nice, no, amazing. And honestly, thank you so much to both of you for
They
for
didn't
joining
ask
us
about
here
skill
today
based.
on both
Oh,
of the
boy.
streams. I'm excited to see on Tuesday what kind of content you go and create and get on. We have drops over the week that week as well. I don't know if that's been announced, but I've just announced it. We have drops on there, so there we go.
Exclamation
So there
mark
you go,
drops.
folks.
Everyone in the chat.
Yeah, exclamation
I'm
mark
kidding, don't
drops,
do that.
everybody in the chat. We don't have it on here, so not
Don't
Twitch
do
at the
it in
moment.
here.
Yeah, no. But we'll have drops over that weekend, so yeah, do join into. There's obviously a bunch of partners who I'm sure are going to jump on and play this content, so join them on Tuesday and get your drops as well. For Rising Morning
I have
stuff.
no
Yeah,
internet
just
for the
release
week it
more.
launches. I'm heartbroken.
Oh. You have to do it on cloud, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'll see
Xbox.
how that goes playing on my mobile.
Oh, such a brilliant
Just go to your
platform
local coffee
advocate.
shop. Go to your local coffee shop. Stream it, baby.
Stream at the coffee shop.
So you can jump on there. You can jump on your phone. We'll see how that goes.
See how many wins you can get in a row on that.
Yeah, see how many streaks you can get on that. That's a
That'd be a
challenge.
flex and a half.
There's the real no controller, touch screen. Let's go.
If you get one, that'll be incredible. Others, they'd go down in history. They'd go down in history.
Honestly, then, no, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to join.
No, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Much love,
We'll
guys.
see you all in the seas.
Thanks so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Awesome. And now we are over to you, Joe. You are handling this from now on. Take the reins.
So many community questions coming in. So
Hopefully
the
somebody
wonderful
asks about
moderators
skill
have been
based.
compiling them across Twitch, social, Discord, and wherever else they can see questions coming in for Season 8. One of the biggest ones that we are seeing a lot is, can we get a little bit more details on the curse? Can you unlock both of them? Can I wear cosmetics with the Skelly curse? Can I change if I can only choose one of them? So people are just looking for a little bit more clarity
Yeah,
about
sure.
because it's Skelly curse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finally.
So yeah, like players, it's not a permanent choice to choose and align yourself to a faction. It's something that can be done each session, and even if you sync within a session, you automatically leave your faction when you sync, so you can your ship and choose to fight for the opposing faction if you want. So we wanted players to be able to freely earn allegiance for the Guardian's Fortune, earn allegiance for the Servants of the Flame, be able to progress both at their own rate, however they want to choose that, jump in between the two factions and ultimately be able to unlock both curses. So that's totally something that players can do. It's fully encouraged. And yeah, I can't wait to see that. I guess in terms of skeleton cosmetics, it's a brand new system that is. It's our SPG now, our Skeleton Infinite Pyro Generator. And as a result, we have created custom cosmetics for that curse specifically. So we have a number of heads, a number of torsos, a number of lower bodies, a number of bone colors. The existing cosmetics do not work with that curse. They do work with the ghost curse. That's kind of like a shader overlay that will work with any cosmetic you have. But we really wanted to push the cosmetics right with the skeletons, and that's something completely new.
I guess that
we're
makes
doing, and we
sense,
wanted
but at the
to
same time, that
have
still
as much
sucks.
free license as we could to create really interesting combinations of different head, torsos, lower bodies, etc.
That makes
So yeah, I can't remember.
makes
the second
sense, but I
question.
still don't
it's
see
like a
like I'm not a
customization tree
game
almost
dev
for
or
skeletons.
anything, but
Absolutely,
I
you
don't
have
see
with
why
the
you
kind of
can't.
cloaking
Yeah.
cosmetics
Exactly.
for when
Yeah.
you're not cursed as
Yeah.
the skeleton. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, the advantage is they're really pushed.
Yeah.
So I think like
They're so good as well.
They're amazing.
Davy Jones' ship comes out of the waves, and how different that crew looks, and how fantastical they look. The cool thing is that you can mix and match them. There's some great looks, so different heads, different upper bodies, different lower bodies, different bone colours, like Andy said. So you're still going to have a lot of uniqueness across players. And over time, obviously, we'll add more cosmetics there, but there's an awesome, there's an awesome range.
There you go,
of
chat.
to begin with. It's in many ways like captaincy. Obviously, we're adding to captaincy with this update with the 2 new alignments. That's why we didn't have PvP milestones back in Season 7. It's because we had this plan right. We wanted to add it with this sanctioned PvP. But Season 8 is also like another new platform for the game. There's these new factional players, and this is just the start. There's so much content to get through in Season 8, but of course, it's part of Sea of Thieves now, and it'll just get expanded over time.
Touching on the new factions, one of the ones that we've been seeing is there's a lot of panic that we've just upped Athena's fortune to 100. Can we just have some explanation
We would never do
of
Do
the
not
new
worry.
factions and allegiance, and that we're
Yeah.
not going to make them go and grind out 3,000 Legends
No.
of the Veil?
So Reaper's still the cap of the Reaper's Bone is still 75. The cap of Athena's Fortune is still 30. They are unchanged. We have added the 2 new factions that players can earn allegiance for, similar to how you'd earn reputation for the trading companies that we have already in the game. So there's 2 new ways to progress there. But yeah, that allegiance is separate. That level 100 that you need to get for either the Servants of the Flame or for the Guardians of Fortune, that plus Reaper 75 or that plus Pirate Legend are the requirements to enter the hideouts and to ultimately get the curse. So
perfect. I think that helps a lot.
So you have to get to level 100 to get either of the
We've
curses.
had one come in a few times as well from several different platforms here from our solo sloopers that are out there. Can they fight as a solo slooper?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
that was
the
really,
end.
that was really important for us, and not something we initially had, by the way. But like when we kind of got into playtesting, we got into 2v1 scenarios, and the skill difference of having 2 players on a sloop versus just 1 player on a sloop is vast. So we have solo sloop versus solo sloop, duo sloops, brigs, and galleon ways to play. Yes.
And players can opt to fight a larger ship should they want that challenge. Because I can see our Beardleys and our Hippos and things very much being like, we're going to go galley hunting.
Yeah, exactly. So you have like the streaks that we kind of touched on at the start, but each ship that you sink, your streak count goes up, and then you get like what's called an allegiance streak multiplier for each ship that you've sunk, kind of like the emissary grade and how that works, where the higher you push the grade, the more rewards that you can earn for sinking ships in the future. Very similar concept. So that maxes out at 4, like the multiplications, how much allegiance you can earn for sinking ships, but that cap of the streak, that's unbounded. So players can push that as far as they dare to try and get these kind of high scores across the seas. But when you hit that 4, that's when you become a champion for your faction. And that, like when you unfurl that wall map on the captain's cabin table, before you're at 4, that's just like the single skull and crossbones icon. You and your crew can vote to dive. That will matchmake you against someone of the same ship size as you, same number of players on the ship, and then when you get to 4,
it's player,
you get a second option that appears
ship-based,
on the
player-based,
and that
not
allows
skill-based.
you to fight bigger ships than your own. So you can kind of take on that additional risk and try and take on bigger ships.
That's pretty good to know. That's
I like that, but I don't like that because it should be random. Because you're not going to encounter that in adventure. That's not going to be organic. I don't know, man.
So what happens if another ship sails into the battle area?
Well, the ships can sail into the battle bounds, and like Joe said, they can have these kind of intense moments. So the 2-player ships that are, invade one another, or if someone gets invaded passively, they have the battle bounds around them, but other ships can come in and become part of that fray. So you could go and back up your Reaper faction friend and try and work together to take out the Guardians of the Fortune. That can totally happen. That's part of the stories we wanted to allow players to create, right? Like in the world, we wanted to make sure we had a rich palette of stories that could happen by putting this feature into the shared world of Sea of Thieves.
And celebrate that choice that you've made in that session. It's a big reason why you've got those awesome kind of figurehead, kind of glowing effects at the front of the ship, and based on your streak, those get even more visually impressive. So telegraphing to other players in the world your success and what you've done previously, and obviously when you reach that kind of 4 streak, you're then marked as a championship. So I wouldn't say it's going to happen every time, but we still want that chance for that emergent story to happen, where you might get an unexpected ally or an unexpected opponent. But yeah, the whole being a skeleton, being a ghost, seeing those figurehead effects, it's all about celebrating and making it a really cool moment when you play this way.
Yeah, just sorry to the champion bit as well. So if you choose to when you get a champion, if you choose to then play on like a smaller ship and go in and fight bigger ships, I just love the moment on the other side where you're in a galleon and you're expecting a galleon and then this little sloop pops up and you're like, oh no, because you know that person is like, they're probably pretty skillful. They're looking to test themselves against you, and it's like, all right, I love that again, that emergence where you're not sure what to expect.
I'm just doing a quick sweep now for. But they're the ones that we've definitely been seeing come through the most. As always, it's about fighting and cosmetics.
Why not? Why not?
No skill-based questions.
Yeah, we could keep going all day. Honestly, I've got pages of them, so
Yeah, sure.
those are the top ones.
Well, absolutely. Well, I guess if that is all the questions we have for you, it's probably about time to wrap up because we have lots still to come over this weekend. We've got more to share with everyone. But first of all, I just want to obviously say thank you to everyone for tuning in, and thanks to everyone here who put this stream together and who joined us on the stream today. But also a massive thank you to the team again. I know it was reiterated there, but this has really been a passion project for the team, and they really want to put an amazing experience out for you, the players. And basically, it's going to be out. Like, the crazy thing about it is we've announced it so close to when it's actually coming out. It's out on Tuesday. It's literally only a few days away, so it's super exciting. You're getting to see it now, and you really don't have long to wait.
How many sleeps, John? How many sleeps?
How many sleeps?
4 sleeps.
4 sleeps. 4 sleeps. Our 2 prime ministers. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you all out on the waves on Tuesday, the 22nd of November, when the season 8 will be launching, and hopefully there's somebody there to carry me and help me on my wee Geo sloop or my Fenton brig. My Fenton brig there. Yeah. But thank you again to everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you all on Tuesday. Thank you.
Bye,
Goodbye.
everyone.